it's extremely dangerous. That four people have been given this voice in a party, and everybody just stands down. It's really it's going to go down as, I mean, when people look back in history of how we have allowed this to be perpetrated.
Will there be history? Will there be history?
Well, it is super interesting to see how this very small group of people has gained such, dominant influence over the party as a collective, to the point where they're willing to, or threatening to at least, I guess, tank an entire spending package that they claim, is the must, this must pass over this one thing. Now, not to say $1 billion isn't a big deal, but in the course of a $3.5 trillion spending proposal, which is what they're wed to, this is what the hill that they're willing to sacrifice on. It's a scary thing to think that there's such hatred for Israel, who has been such, and will continue to be, or at least should be, such a vital part of U.S. national security, and the one reliable ally we have over there.
The one reliable ally we have anywhere. That's the one reliable ally we have anywhere.
No, you're completely right, and not just that. The one ally that actually has contributed more to the medical field, to our to technology, and of course they'll never turn off their ways, and they'll never stop using the Intel chip or the USB ports or all that stuff. But yeah, let's shut them down with the Iron Dome. That'll show Israel. And Ben, at this point, if I mean, and sadly, because Netanyahu is no longer prime minister, I really wish they would take their stand. I know they're not.
No, they can't. They can't. America's too big. America's too important. And even though the Israelis have many wonderful defense pieces of equipment, they don't have the fighter jets yet that they could have without the U.S. Being very much involved. But why is it that these four nutcases are allowed to just start up where Hitler left off in the Democrat Party, which is overwhelmingly the party of the Jews? Why is it that the Jews are not just screaming bloody murder about this?
Because they've been so indoctrinated, it's been so in them. And I know, Rob, this is a hard one for you to jump on, and don't worry. Ben and I will never be offended by any comment or any thought on this. But you must look at this like, I mean, it's hard enough for us to put our head, to wrap our head around it. I mean, I'm curious how a Gentile from Indianapolis looks at this type of situation.
Well, it's what's really interesting, though, is, and we've talked about this many times on this show and our show and many others that I've been on, is that these people fundamentally hate the idea of America. And so they don't want to reform America. They want to tear it down and build it back up in an image that they see fit. And the weakening of Israel is a weakening of America. I mean, it's a very special bond between these two countries, and I think their disdain for Israel is, they don't even try to hide it anymore.
Well, and also they're anti-Semites. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. There are such things as anti-Semites. There are a lot of them. It's not unusual. They've existed in large numbers throughout history. It's not at all unusual. But that they should be, four of them should be controlling the activities of hundreds of members of the Democrat Party in Congress, and Nancy Pelosi doesn't dare stand up to them. That's amazing. What a piece of dirt she is.